The White House said late Wednesday that a conversation between President Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin at the G20 summit in Buenos Aires last November was not an official meeting. The Financial Times reported Tuesday that Trump and Putin spoke of several minutes at the end of an evening event during the summit, accompanied by First Lady Melania Trump and Putin's translator. The report added that there were no White House staff present. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said the president canceled formal talks with Putin after the Russian military opened fire and seized 3 Ukrainian Navy ships in the disputed peninsula of Crimea. As is typical of multilateral events, President Trump and the First Lady had a series of informal talks with world leaders at dinner, including President Putin, Sanders said. The president reiterated Putin because he canceled the meeting. The sources told Fox News that Trump told Putin during the conversation that they could not formally meet until the situation in Ukraine was resolved. A government official added that the Russians were delivering the report on the conversation to suggest that the two discussed the planning of the next meeting. There was no translator or note-taker present on the U.S. side because it was a brief informal meeting, the sources said. News of the conversation could shake congressional Democrats, who issued subpoenas for notes or interpreter testimony earlier meetings between Trump and Putin. Such a move would provoke a major confrontation between the legislative and executive branches over potentially sensitive discussions among foreign leaders. Earlier this month, House Committee Chair Eliot Engel of Foreign Affairs said he plans to dissolve the subcommittee on the terrorism panel and instead set up a panel to focus on research related to the president's issues, including the infamous summit of July 2018 between Trump and Putin in Helsinki, Finland. It's been months since Helsinki, and we still do not know what Putin and Trump talked about, Engel said. The Democratic base for information interpreter grew after the Washington Post reported that Trump had taken possession of notes in a conversation in 2017 with Putin in Hamburg, Germany, of his own interpreter and told the interpreter not to discuss what was occurred in the meeting with others administration officials. Counselor to President Kellyanne Conway said that Trump took this action to keep the conversation from leaking. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said Wednesday she believes the superior power wants her boss, Donald Trump, to be elected president. I believe God calls us all to play different roles at different times, and I think Donald Trump wanted to become president, said Sanders' Christian broadcasting network CBN. Sanders, who celebrated his first press conference in 2019, first in 41 days on Monday, he added, "That's why he's there, and I think he did a tremendous job of supporting many of the things that people of faith really care about." His response came after CBN's David Brody questioned whether he was asking if it surprised him that Trump, of all people, was the caretaker president. The press secretary then rebuked the Democratic leadership in the House of Representatives for not condemning 2 new lawmakers who were accused of harboring anti-Semitic opinions. "I find it scandalous that the leadership of the Democrats did not ask these people to withdraw their comments. They did not condemn them," Sanders said. "Whenever someone who is not associated with the president says something, will the first thing you condemn say that this is terrible?" Sanders added that at this point it is very difficult even to make a Democrats' conference that is moral and what is not, referring to Speaker Nancy Pelosi, calling them a moral offense on the southern border of the United States. The idea that protecting the people of your country, which is the fundamental duty of being President of the United States, would be immoral in some way, is a ridiculous accusation, Sanders told the news station. "I think Pelosi might even regret having made that comment because she saw how ridiculous it sounds and how the evidence is so contrary to that comment," he continued. Sanders added that you can expect Trump to continue leading the effort to build a wall because he is a born leader and a wall is a priority for him.